I was asleep on the couch, half drunk, TV glowing softly in the dark. The emergency tone jolted me upright, that piercing blare that makes your heart trip over itself. Red text scrolled across the screen. A robotic voice followed. Emergency alert! This is not a test. Unknown entities have been detected within the state of Massachusetts. Stay indoors, lock all doors and windows, do not attempt to approach. Further instructions to follow. Then static. Not just on the screen, outside too. I swear I heard it. Static. Like a low hum riding the wind. Like the whole world was trying to tune itself to the wrong frequency. I live in a small town outside Worcester. Nowhere special. Quiet, sleepy. The kind of place where nothing ever really happens. But that silence, that normalcy, it died with the alert. I looked out my window and saw porch lights flicker like candles in a storm. Then darkness, total blackout. I stood in the quiet for maybe a full minute, listening. Then the dogs started barking. Every dog in the neighborhood, one by one. Like a chain reaction. Panic, not anger. Then something worse. They stopped. All at once, not even a whimper. That's when I noticed the shadows. Not mine, not anything that should have been there. Just shapes. In the road, not moving, not walking, just standing. I thought it was a trick of the eyes at first. I rubbed them, blinked hard, but they stayed. Blacker than the night, like holes burned into the world. No faces, no limbs, just figures, vaguely human, but stretched and unnatural. I backed away from the window, heart hammering in my chest. My hands were shaking. I didn't know what to do. No phone service. Wi-Fi dead. Landline gave nothing but a thin, whining hiss. Then I heard the front porch creak. Just once, I grabbed the bat from under the couch and stepped back toward the kitchen, keeping my eyes on the door. The porch light flickered, just enough to cast a glimpse through the window. Nothing, but the door handle twitched. Once, then twice. Then it stopped. Another alert blasted from the TV, louder than before, despite it being unplugged. Do not engage. Do not look directly at them. Do not follow the voices. Voices? The second I thought it, I heard mine. Coming from the porch. Not the figure's mine. My voice. Repeating something I don't remember saying. Open the door. It's okay. I need your help. Over and over. Same tone, same rhythm. Like a recording. Except my mouth was closed. And I was still standing there, paralyzed, watching the doorknob twitch again. I turned off all the lights and hid in the hallway, tucked behind the kitchen wall, clutching the bat with white knuckles. The house felt wrong. The air was dense, like breathing through wet cloth. Then I heard something upstairs. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate. I live alone. I stood frozen in the kitchen, the bat slick in my hands. One step, then another. Directly over the hallway. I live alone. There shouldn't be anything up there. When the creaking stopped, the silence hit even harder. I held my breath for what felt like minutes, waiting for the next step, but it never came. I moved backward toward the back door. Just as I reached for the knob, the kitchen light blinked on. I hadn't touched the switch. My heart nearly stopped. I turned slowly, nothing behind me. But the air was heavy, wrong, like someone was standing right beside me, holding their breath too. And then the footsteps came again. This time rushing, charging down the stairs. I didn't wait. I yanked the door open and ran into the backyard, across wet grass and through the tree line. Behind me, I swear I heard the door slam shut. The woods were thick and cold. I didn't have a flashlight. Branches scratched my arms, my face. But I didn't stop. I ran until I couldn't see the house anymore. Eventually, I collapsed behind a fallen tree, sucking in air like I'd been drowning. My ears rang. I couldn't hear anything except my heartbeat and the rustle of distant leaves. Then I heard something else, static. Not loud, subtle, like a broken signal just beneath the world's surface. And then, voices. At first, I thought it was the emergency alert again. But this was different. It sounded like me. Tyler, help me! My own voice warped and cracked, echoing through the trees. Then others joined in. Familiar ones. My mom's, my friend Ben's, even my dad's. He's been dead for 2 years. Come back. It's okay now. We're waiting. I buried my face in my arms and didn't move. I knew better. Whatever they weren't real. When I looked up, fog had filled the forest, thick, unnatural. And in the distance, half lost in that gray mist, was a figure, standing still, watching me. I didn't run. I didn't breathe. And after a few minutes, it turned and walked away toward town, stayed in the woods until the sun came up. Or tried to. The light was pale and weak, like it couldn't push through whatever hung in the sky. It wasn't a normal morning. The air was still cold, still quiet. The fog never lifted. I made it to the road near the highway. Walked past 3 cars, all abandoned. Doors open, no sign of a struggle, no blood. Just gone. My phone still had no signal. I tried the emergency line. Static. As I walked toward town, I saw more signs that something terrible had happened. Mail scattered across lawns. A grocery cart tipped on its side in the middle of the road. A bike on the sidewalk, wheels still spinning. But no people, not one. It was like something had swept through the whole area and erased everyone. The police station was dark when I reached it. The glass doors were cracked. One was hanging off the hinge. Inside, the front desk was empty. No lights, no sound until I passed the radio room. There was a voice, faint, buried under static. I pushed the door open. The equipment was still powered somehow. A single frequency was active. Containment breached. No known point of origin. They don't follow physical laws. Do not attempt communication. The voice looped. Male, monotone, tired. I didn't recognize it. I tried changing the dial. Nothing but dead air. Then one more voice came through just once. You can't stop them. You can only wait your turn. That wasn't a recording. It was spoken, direct, like someone on the other end had just noticed me. And they weren't warning me. They were telling me. Something clattered behind me in the hallway. I spun around, bat ready, but there was no one there. Just a trail of wet footprints on the tile floor, bare feet, leading from the exit to the stairs and up. They hadn't been there when I came in. The air shifted, heavier, thicker. I felt it in my teeth like pressure before a storm. The overhead lights buzzed to life. All at once, but only in the hallway. The footprints were still wet, still fresh, and one by one, each light above them started going out. Pop, 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 coming closer. I didn't wait. I ran out the back. Didn't stop until I was blocks away, hiding behind a dumpster behind a bakery. And in the alley, scratched into the brick, were 4 words. You heard it too. I stared at the wall for a long time. The message was carved deep, jagged, uneven, like someone used a rock or a key. You heard it too. It hadn't rained, but the letters were wet. I looked around the alley. No signs of movement, no people, just fog creeping low across the ground like it had weight. The silence was unbearable. Even the birds were gone. I moved fast, keeping low, avoiding main streets. Every so often I thought I saw movement, a figure through the mist. Always too far to make out. They never approached, just watched. The only place I could think to go was the church. Old, abandoned for years, but solid. Thick stone walls, a bell tower, and maybe, just maybe, answers. The door was open when I arrived. Not broken, just ajar. Inside, the air was cold and dry. The stained glass windows were smeared with something dark. Not blood, not paint, something in between. There were candles burned to stumps on the altar. Dozens of them. Someone had been here. I moved toward the back, where the confessional booths were. That's when I saw it. A notebook, left on the pew. Pages soaked with ink and water damage. But some of it was readable. They speak in our voices. They take our faces. But they aren't us. They're listening through the static. They are the static. I flipped a few pages. More frantic handwriting. Don't trust the light. Don't trust the mirrors. Don't follow the sound. Then one last note scrawled at the bottom in larger, darker ink. If you're reading this, you're not alone. The organ let out a low groan. I spun around. No one there. But behind me, in the pew where the notebook had been, the candles were lit. All of them. Every single one. And the fog had begun seeping in through the cracks in the windows. I backed away, heart pounding. Something moved near the altar, a flicker of a figure. Just for a second. Then a whisper, right in my ear, like someone was crouched beside me. We've been waiting. I ran. Out the front door, down the steps, into the open street. And there, standing in the fog, were 3 figures. Not moving, not chasing, just standing, all facing me. I turned to run the other way. Another figure. Closer. Then I heard the alert again, echoing across the street from a storefront radio. Do not run. Do not look away. Do not separate. I'm starting to think these aren't warnings. They're rules, and I've already broken too many. The figures didn't move. They just stood there, half swallowed by the fog, like mannequins left behind after something important ended. I backed away slowly, keeping my eyes on them, remembering the voice from the alert. Do not run. Do not look away. Every instinct screamed to bolt, but something deeper, colder, warned me not to. So I kept my eyes forward, breath shallow, until I reached the side alley and ducked behind a dumpster. When I peeked out, they were gone. All of them. But the fog was thicker now. And it wasn't just rolling along the street. It was crawling up walls, curling under doors, seeping into vents like smoke with purpose. I needed higher ground. The clock tower in the center of town. It wasn't far. And if this fog was really alive or filled with whatever those things were, I needed to see above it. The main street was empty. Every window I passed seemed off. Wrong angles. Too dark inside. Some had televisions still glowing with that same alert frozen in place. You are not alone. Do not interact. I reached the base of the tower and found the old maintenance door unlocked. Inside, the stairwell was silent, dusty, but untouched, as if nothing had reached here yet. I climbed. My legs burned, lungs tight, but I didn't stop. With every step, the city below felt farther away, like I was climbing out of a dream that didn't want to let go. When I reached the top, I opened the trapdoor and stepped into the clock room. I could finally see it. The fog wasn't random. It moved in lines, straight, branching patterns, spreading, covering, swallowing, everything like veins under skin. And in the middle of it all, at the town square, something pulsed. Not a light, not a sound, something deeper. A throb in the air, timed perfectly with the static I could still feel in my teeth. I watched for maybe 30 seconds. That's all. Before the bell behind me rang, I turned around, and someone was standing beside it. Not a figure, a person. Or maybe that's what it wanted me to think. She was barefoot, wearing a raincoat that hung too long, hair dripping wet though there hadn't been rain in days. And her eyes, they weren't reflecting the light. They were absorbing it. She smiled. You should not be here. My mouth was dry. I stepped back toward the trapdoor. They're almost done with this place. She tilted her head like she was listening to something I couldn't hear. And you? You already let them in. I didn't say a word. Just turned, yanked open the door, and dropped down the stairs, not stopping until I hit the bottom. Outside, the sky had darkened again. Not night, just wrong. And above the town I saw it, a crack in the sky, just for a second, like glass under pressure. I don't know how to explain it. That thing above the town, it wasn't lightning. Wasn't a storm. It was a fracture. The sky itself split for half a second like a cracked mirror. I saw nothing beyond it. No light, no stars, just emptiness. And then it was gone. I stood in the street, dizzy, ears ringing with that low static hum. The fog had retreated slightly, like it knew I saw something I wasn't supposed to. I had to keep moving. I made my way to the library. It was the last place I remembered having real shelter, back when things were normal. The front doors were unlocked, just barely open like they'd been abandoned mid-step. Inside, books littered the floor. The smell of mildew and damp paper hit hard. No power, just gray light filtering in through broken windows. Then I noticed something scrawled across the children's section in black marker, written across the walls. They're not taking us. They're remaking us. I heard something behind the shelves. A quiet rustle, then a voice. You see it now, don't you? I froze. The voice came from the other side of a bookcase. Low, calm, familiar. That crack in the sky, that's not where they come from. My chest tightened. It's where we're going. I backed away, and the moment I did, the shelf tipped violently, like something pushed it hard from the other side. It crashed down in front of me, books flying. I ran through the nonfiction section, past the ruined computer lab, toward the emergency exit at the back. The door was rusted shut. I hit it with my shoulder until it groaned open. Outside, the fog was thicker again, and quieter. Too quiet. I couldn't even hear my own footsteps. That's when I realized something worse. There were no sounds because there was no echo. Nothing around me was bouncing sound back. It was like the world had become one flat surface, like a photograph. I reached out and touched the brick wall beside the library. It looked like brick, felt cold. But when I pressed harder, my hand sank in, just slightly, like the surface wasn't solid anymore, like the world was becoming soft, unreal. I pulled back fast, heart hammering, and saw fingerprints left in the wall. Not mine. Too large, too deep, and still warm. I didn't stop running until I found a boarded-up pharmacy down the road. The windows were smashed, but it was empty. For now, I'm writing this by candlelight. Found a few still in a drawer. The emergency alert hasn't come back, but I don't think it matters anymore. This isn't an invasion. It's a transition, and we're not surviving it. We're becoming it.